Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more of the WWE versus Total Extreme Wrestling 2016 playthrough, where we take a look at the weekly events or weekly shows that the WWE books and book them the exact same way, from timing all the way down to the arena. Pretty much every minute detail that I can possibly do, minus the referees and the road agents. I'm not going that deep in there. Is on this card, and pretty much we're gonna see how WWE does against Total Extreme Wrestling. Pair them off against each other and see how they compare. See if the WWE. All right, sorry, had to let my cat out. But see if the WWE can beat 2, or will 2 be the one thing in the entire world that can end the WWE, pretty much. So we already booked the post WrestleMania shows from Monday Night Raw, which did horribly, to Tuesday Night SmackDown and 205 Live, which did all right. Since then, I have gone ahead and edited quite a lot of things. I've edited certain superstars' popularities and stats to where I feel they should be. We've edited a lot of the optional things to where, like, injuries and such shouldn't have an effect on us, really. The only thing is that Apollo Crews did unfortunately get injured last week, and he was seriously injured apparently, to the point where he's not going to be here tonight. So the Titus Worldwide segment with Dolph Ziggler and the debuting Drew McIntyre is going to be slightly different, but honestly I don't think it'll affect it all that much. In fact, it might help it. So it'll be interesting to see where things go on from now forward, now that we're not only a week in, but I've also edited things myself. So with that being said, this is the Superstars Shakeup edition of Monday Night Raw, so we'll see new faces heading over here like we'll see on SmackDown. Of course, we already know who those people are, but let's see how Total Extreme Wrestling feels their debuts would go. Oh, Lord. What an opening. We open up Monday Night Raw with a C- rating. By the way, I believe I've gotten all the storylines down. C- rating here as Kurt Angle, the Raw general manager, opens the show, pretty much hyping up the Raw shakeup, or the Superstar shakeup, which leads to Sunil Singh coming out, introducing the Raw universe. I don't know. Pretty much introducing everyone to the WWE United States Champion and Raw's first pick, Jinder Mahal. Jinder comes out, he cuts a whole promo pretty much on him hyping himself up, which leads to Kurt Angle pretty much issuing a match for Jinder Mahal to happen right here, right now, for the United States Championship, and that match is accepted by Jeff Hardy. So there we have it, opening segment. Honestly, what a really poor way to open this show. Sunil Singh might have brought it down a lot, but maybe it might have been a mistake putting him on entertainment, but that's also WWE's call, so he talked on the mic. I feel like I have to make him rated at least on microphone or entertainment. Kurt came across well, and isn't Samir injured at this moment? I'm going to have to take Samir off TV as well, so that's one thing I guess I didn't check. Take Samir off TV. And speaking of people that I have to take off TV, Maurice. I don't believe I did that as well, so Maurice will probably be on TV tonight as well. So let's put those on there as well. So that starts the U.S. title feud. I also put Orton here with a question mark instead of Jinder Mahal, because if you watch SmackDown, which we'll get to, of course, a little bit of a spoiler for SmackDown, I guess, if you haven't seen it, Orton kind of seemed like he was, a little pissed off or, annoyed that Jeff Hardy interrupted him and that match against, Shelton Benjamin, the open challenge. So if I had a prediction, I feel like what we'll see at the Greatest Royal Rumble will be Jeff versus Jinder versus Orton, if not at Backlash, whatever pay-per-view they decide to do that. I feel like it's going to be a triple threat, ultimately with Jeff Hardy probably retaining. Not a good way to start off that feud, though. Jinder Mahal is improving in acting, so that's good on him, and Sunil Singh is learning to show more charisma and developing better performance skills, so good job, Sunil. We then jump into the opening match of the night, which also does a C- rating. That's really not too good. I mean, C minus is barely average, pretty much. Like a D is below average, C minus is barely average, and I believe Jeff Hardy is technically a main eventer, as is Jinder Mahal is like an upper mid carder, maybe not a main eventer, maybe a mid carder. But yeah, that's really not the best way to start off the show. Either way, though, we have the C minus rating here with a decent matchup of Jeff Hardy going over Jinder Mahal in 8 minutes and 7 seconds with the Swanton Bomb, becoming the United States champion. So Jinder Mahal loses his first Raw match. Jeff Hardy with an in-ring performance of a solid C, Jinder Mahal with a D plus, and gained some heat towards the United States Championship feud. Also, Jinder Mahal is improving in his performance skill. After that, we hype up that tonight not only will we see Miz TV with a new SmackDown superstar, but also it'll be Bayley versus Sasha Banks, and I believe that's actually next. So, what is this? Oh, it's just the thing, which a part of me wants to turn Sasha, but I'm not completely convinced that WWE's pulled the trigger on her yet, so I'm gonna wait as well. Until I'm convinced that they do it, I'm not gonna pull the trigger unless there's like an overhaul from all of you guys. So in a way, I'm kind of saving Sasha's career because right now, turning heel or turning face is not the best thing for your career because it's going to be an utter disaster right away. No Way Jose is not suited to his gimmick. Did we already change his gimmick? Or maybe he's changing his gimmick right here. Either way, D plus rating here as Renee Young gets an interview with Jinder Mahal after he just lost to Jeff Hardy. He pretty much swears vengeance and says that he's going to get his championship back. I forget if he said the greatest Royal Rumble or Backlash, but we'll see whichever one it is. He's interrupted by No Way Jose, who comes on and tells, Jinder Mahal to smile, and when life gets him down, he just says, "No way." And then he asks Renee Young if she wants to dance, pretty much, and she says, "Okay," and they go off and dance. Or I think she says, "Do you want a fiesta," or whatever. Lost heat for the U.S. title feud. Unfortunate there. Yes, No Way Jose is changing his gimmick from a comic relief to a dancer, which honestly, that's what he should be. Above average, too, so good job, No Way Jose. All right. Moving into another solid D here, we get a recap from last week of the events that happened between Bayley and Sasha Banks during Sasha Banks' match against Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, while featured, were not rated on here because there's really no reason to rate them. They're just shown in a random segment, while Bayley and Sasha have their overness because they're kind of like the highlight of the segment. Either way, just showing, Bayley clotheslining Sasha and pretty much costing her the match there. I believe that's just asking me about Sasha, so we're just going to move on without it. And we lead into our match between Bayley and Sasha Banks, which gets a solid D rating here, and about that had subpar wrestling and little heat to it. We have a draw between Bayley and Sasha Banks in 6 minutes 14 seconds after the match descended into chaos, when the Riot Squad makes their Monday Night Raw debut as Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan come out and attack Bayley and Sasha Banks. Bayley with an in-ring performance of a D+, Sasha Banks with a C-. And I just want to double check. Yep, just Sasha. We're not doing that yet. Bayley's improving in performance, Sasha is improving in Rumble and Technical. And then we continue on with another solid D rating here, which is just the Riot Squad, of course, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan, continuing the beatdown on Sasha Banks and Bayley as they continue, establishing themselves on Monday Night Raw. I always hate when it doesn't move right away. That makes me think I didn't click it, but sometimes you never know. Also, that would have popped up, so I guess I should have known. I didn't mean to do that. Do I gotta click it again? Thank you. Wow, this did a lot better. B- rating here as we hype up that Roman Reigns will be here tonight. We then move to a D- as Heath Slater and Rhino. This is kind of in between entrances. Heath Slater and Rhino cut a promo on the Authors of Pain, pretty much saying, how tonight's about second chances or something. I don't know. The only thing I really remember about the dumb promo is those stupid letters popping up. I hate that WWE does it. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Please stop. All right. Thank you. Leading into our tag team matchup, we get a solid D rating, a rematch from last week's Monday Night Raw, and about that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, The Authors of Pain go over Slater and Rhino in 4 minutes, 8 seconds. When Akeem defeats, is it Akeem or Akam? I don't know. Akeem? Whatever. He defeats Rhino with the pump handle Death Valley driver, whatever that is. Rhino was head and shoulders above everybody else. I mean, years of experience, that's to be expected. Although a D plus isn't really head and shoulders above everybody else. Heath Slater with a D minus and Razor and Akeem with an E plus. I don't want to call him Akeem because that reminds me of Akeem the African Dream, but I think it's Akam. Akam and Razor, that's what it is. So Akam, E plus. All right. We then move to a C minus, hyping up that the Miz TV segment is next. And we lead into the Miz TV segment, which introduces, Miz, of course, comes out, of course, alongside the Miztourage, and he hypes up 2 new superstars from SmackDown that are coming over, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which, of course, leads to a little bit of confusion and, honestly, a little bit of a hilarious interaction between Jonathan Coachman and Michael Cole as they bickered back and forth about signing free agents, and you can't sign someone that doesn't work for the company. So, there you have that. But it made me smile. Either way, Owens and Zayn, the whole, I guess, controversy here was that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn technically don't work for SmackDown since they lost at WrestleMania to Bryan and Shane McMahon, thus losing their jobs. And last week on Monday Night Raw, they were both counted. They didn't respond to the 10 count pretty much in the middle of the ring, which led to them both being counted out. And since they both lost technically, that none of them, or neither of the two, I should say, didn't receive a contract. But this week, once Kurt Angle interrupts and he pretty much says, he pretty much says what I said. Sami Zayn then notifies him that Stephanie McMahon, in a kind of a hilarious way, he puts on these glasses that make him look 10 times older, and he does this whole mocking thing, which honestly, when it first happened, it was annoying, but it seems like he's kind of not tied it down a little bit, and he's not so over the top with it, even though it's still pretty over the top. So I'm not heavily against it, but it's still not my favorite thing in the world right now. But either way, Sami Zayn pretty much reads off a printed email that lets everyone know that Stephanie McMahon has signed both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And then Kurt Angle, of course, to get the last laugh, informs that the Miz that he'll be going over to SmackDown since, Daniel Bryan was very adamant that Miz goes to SmackDown, and apparently he has some pull there. And he also notifies him that Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, the Miztourage, will not be joining him. So there you have it. B minus rating, not too shabby, not too shabby. Apparently deserved better announcing, but Miz is improving in acting, so good for him. We then lead to a B minus, another Roman Reigns hype segment, hyping up the big dog, guys. He's gonna be here tonight. We then lead to a C plus rating as woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt appear on the screen before their matchup, or I guess I should say before their entrance, to announce to the world that they're here. So we get a little bit of an interaction between Bray Wyatt and Matt. And let me speak about Bray Wyatt real quick. So now, it might have been obvious to a lot of people. I feel like it was kind of an obvious storyline where they were going with it. With, of course, Bray losing to Matt Hardy in the ultimate deletion. And then, of course, being reincarnated and all that. But I've always had my own twist. And, to be completely honest, sometimes you got to take the blinders off and, take yourself out of what you would do and just appreciate what WWE's doing. But, oh my god, let me tell you, this broken storyline is kind of irritating me because there's so much potential in it, it just feels like WWE is just half-assing it every way. Yeah, they gave us the obvious broken Matt Hardy and broken Bray Wyatt team, but it doesn't even feel like they're going the full force with it. Bray Wyatt is still wearing and looking the exact same. He comes out with the same attire, same music, same, we're here, blowing out the torch and all that. And it just feels like it's Bray Wyatt still. The whole story should have been, the celestial battle between Sister Abigail and, broken Matt Hardy's past self or whatever, the entity that is in him. Having that battle between them that's gone on for millennia or whatever it is. And that should have been kind of the main highlight that they really didn't highlight enough of, I feel. And if they did, they didn't do it in a good job. And the whole being drowned in the lake of reincarnation should have been, absolving Sister Abigail from him. Absolving Sister Abigail from him, and now Bray Wyatt is woken. He's woken to, Matt Hardy's message, and he looks at Matt kind of like as a Christ-like figure, pretty much worshiping the land that he walks on. And that's when the expedition of gold begins, and he shows Bray, like, now that you're with me, we're going to become tag team champions. You're going to become Intercontinental Champion. That'd be an interesting story. He gives Bray the Intercontinental Championship or something after, he wins it, just because now he has dreams of going after the World Championship or the Universal, whatever you want to call it. I just feel like, now I'm jumping ahead of myself. Now this could be something WWE does along the line. I just feel like it's something that they're not highlighting enough, and they're just half-assing themselves. I get back to the whole attire thing. Bray comes out in pretty much the same exact thing, except now he wears like a butcher's smock. He should look somewhat different. I don't care what he does, whether he shaves his head, which would be a drastic change, undreads it, because now maybe he's a cleaner looking guy, so he doesn't have to look so grangy and all that. I don't know what it is. It's just something different to signify that this isn't the same Bray Wyatt we saw before. You got to distance him from that Sister Abigail, and right now they're not doing that enough, I feel. Sorry, guys, I had to get on a little bit of a rant, but I feel like that can also be the interesting series to this, interesting, I guess not series, but interesting thing to this series here. We are practically just rebooking what WWE does, so it'd be, sometimes it'd be interesting to probably hear my viewpoint of what WWE's doing at that time. So if that is something you guys are more curious about, I can, expand upon that pretty much. Shut the hell up, cell phone. No one needs your input on this. Although my boy Senor Conqueso, he's currently streaming on Twitch right now. Of course, this video is not going to be going up when he's streaming, but he's streaming. Let's see what he's streaming real quick. Oh, I'm so professional, guys. He's playing that new game. Oh, it's the deep game. Welcome to the Game or something. It's a really interesting game. Like I said, he probably won't be streaming by the time you guys see this video. But if you guys are interested in checking out my boy Senor Conqueso, check him out on Twitch, check him out on YouTube. Senor, SENOR underscore CON_QUESO. There you go. Or you can always just look in the description and you'll see him and, of course, a bunch of other affiliates of mine down there as well. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get off of this Woken Matt Hardy We're Here segment as we move on to the finals of the Tag Team Eliminator, not tournament, between The Revival, who beat the Good Brothers last week, and Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, who defeated Titus Worldwide last week. So we get a C- rating here. The one thing I probably I forgot to do here was add the bar on commentary. So that's a bit of my mistake, but it's kind of hard to add people on the commentary when there's a 3-man booth, because then you got to take somebody off, and especially with teams, then you got to take 2 people off. So it's a little annoying sometimes to do it. What I really wish they would add into Total Extreme Wrestling, or do it whenever they do like Total Extreme Wrestling 2019, since they seem to do it in 3 years, is like a guest commentator button, to where you can press it and it gives you an option to add like maybe up to 3 more people on the commentary table. A bit of an overhaul, but still, I feel like that would be the best way to, tackle the guest commentary, thing. And also maybe not ding them so hard, because it would be acknowledging that, yes, these are guests. So anyway, we lead to the C- between Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, going over The Revival here in 8 minutes, 26 seconds, after Matt Hardy defeats Dash Wilder with the Twist of Fate, with a little bit of an assistance from Bray Wyatt there as well. I think they do that dumb, oh, look, I'm going to do Sister Abigail, but then he just like throws him back, and then Matt hits him with the Twist of Fate. It's super cheesy. There's no real point to that move other than, look, we're combining our finishers in some way. Just do with it. There's a lot of teams that do that nowadays, and it just doesn't seem to match. Come up with a tag team finisher that's unique. Maybe do like a Sister Abigail where freaking Bray's bending back, and then Matt, wraps his arm around the person like he's doing a Twist of Fate, and then you just, I don't know. That sounds weird, but make it work. Dash Wilder with a D-. Scott Dawson with a solid D, so it looks like he's actually improving a little bit. Bray Wyatt with a solid C, and Matt Hardy with a C-. Scott Dawson is improving in performance as well, so good on him. We then get a hype up segment real quick that's announcing that Ronda gets rowdy next. C- rating for the rowdy one. Before we can get to Ronda Rousey, though, we get a quick backstage segment here, which gets a C- rating as well, as The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro meet Raw's newest tag team, the Fashion Police, Breezango. Which I just don't know why they don't call them the Fashion Police and get rid of that horrible Breezango name, but whatever. Of course, Breezango, they do their whole, funny skit. They're great. I love Tyler Breeze. I love Fandango. They've got great timing. Pretty much, talking bad about Sheamus's mohawk, the fact that they're wearing dresses, stuff like that. They give them the citation or their tickets and all that. The Bar feels disrespected. This, of course, will lead to a tag team match later. Good stuff all around. Honestly, probably a direct on point rating, if not a C at least. Wow. I was about to say, wow, this did pretty good, but never mind. This is just a random stupid segment. This has happened to me twice in the week so far, so I have a feeling this is going to be a repetitive thing here, so I might just be doing this all the time. It always seems with Raw and SmackDown, at least 205 I was actually pretty good on, that I'm left with at least like 20 minutes to book. It's almost like 20 minutes every time, and it's after I add on like some minutes to certain things to make it like even numbers or stuff like that. And I'm figuring, what, that 20 minutes may be accounting for a commercial, that may be accounting for all the stupid pointless segments with freaking Corey Graves and Michael Cole and Jonathan Coachman talking. But even then, I still don't feel like that's enough time to fill it up. Like, I don't know what's up with Total Extreme Wrestling and WWE where they're not matching. I would just run it that way if I could and just have it get dinged because that's how it is. But I'm not going to do that way. Unfortunately, I couldn't even do it that way because the game wouldn't let me. So my workaround is just to do a pointless 20-minute commercial break that'll represent the commercials throughout the show. And I figured I'd feature John Cena in there since he pretty much is a commercial nowadays with his Make-A-Wish Foundation and his movies and everything else going on. He's pretty much becoming The Rock, exactly what he said he wasn't, which I'm not hating on the guy. I will have to remember one of these things to take people off of commentary since there's really no reason to do that. But whatever, that I guess that can throw in the fact that they're talking for like a bunch of times too. We then talk about the new arrivals, which this does pretty bad, but mostly because certain people aren't over, like Razor and Akam. But either way, talking about some new arrivals, there's going to be two segments here because I couldn't fit them all together. But we have Bobby Lashley, No Way Jose, the Authors of Pain, and Ember Moon being highlighted, the people from last week. And then we have... I feel like we missed a segment, to be honest. The second free new arrivals segment here between, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Jinder Mahal, the Riot Squad, and Breezango. Did we get to the women's match between Ember Moon and Mickie James? I feel like we should have already had that match, but maybe we're just getting close. I don't know. Either way, we go to a recap from last week of Ronda Rousey breaking Stephanie McMahon's arm. That gets a solid C. And then a C+ rating here as Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey talk a little bit about last week and how it's probably not, there's going to be repercussions. It's not the end of this before welcoming Raw's newest diva, excuse me, they're not divas anymore, newest women's wrestler, Natalya, to the Monday Night Raw roster. And apparently Ronda Rousey and Natty have some history with each other since Natty helped train Ronda. So good for her. It was hinted that Natalya's kind of, teasing a face turn. So I've begun to tease a face turn for her as well. C+ rating there. Yes. Okay, no, we haven't gotten to the match between Ember Moon and Mickie James. For some reason, I thought we did, but I guess not. E+ rating here as the women's champion Nia Jax joins the commentary table with Michael Cole and Corey Graves. I took Jonathan Coachman off because, like I said before, you can't have more than 3 people on the commentary booth. That's why they should just add a guest announcer thing. I'd imagine Nia Jax, is not going to be great on the commentary table either way. Before we get to that, and this was actually kind of going on during the match, but I can't have angles go on during the match, so we have a D- rating here. where Alexa Bliss pretty much, explains that she's not joining commentary because she doesn't want to be next to a bully like Nia Jax. D- rating. And then the said matchup between Ember Moon, former NXT Women's Champion, and Mickie James, which gets a solid D rating here. And about that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Ember Moon going over Mickie James with the Eclipse after 5 minutes 40 seconds. Both Ember Moon and Mickie James with a D- in ring performance. Apparently this match cooled the crowd a little, and no worker improvements. We then jump backstage to a C+ rated angle here, as we have The Miz, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and The Miz Taraj pretty much cutting a little bit of a pre-match. I don't really know what this was. It's more of a skit, I guess, for their upcoming 10-man tag team match later on tonight. Owens and Zayn pretty much, they're all talking about how, of course, the man's out to get them as always, and how they always have a rough start. Miz is, hyping up that, this is my, go home match or something like that. And Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel can kind of be seeing like, they're very worried and talking in the corner and kind of distracted. Okay. We then, oh wow, this did not do that great. We then lead to a D+ rated segment here as Dolph Ziggler is revealed to join Monday Night Raw. He's the newest superstar. He makes his way down to the ring, which leads to Titus Worldwide coming out, which should have been Apollo Crews here as well, but like I said, Apollo Crews is out with an injury, which is something I couldn't, I didn't even think about taking off the first time around, so we will have to work around that for now. Hopefully he doesn't have a match during this time span. I don't believe I can speed up injuries, so we just have to kind of wait out until he's back. Either way, though, Dolph Ziggler comes out, Titus O'Neil, which it's a good thing he didn't get injured because he's the mouthpiece. Apollo Crews was just there, so it doesn't really matter. O'Neil comes out. He offers Dolph Ziggler a spot in Titus Worldwide, but Ziggler, says before you try, you came out here to interrupt me. I was going to say that I didn't come here alone, which leads to former NXT champion Drew McIntyre making his debut, and they beat down on Titus Worldwide before doing an awesome move. I believe it was on Apollo Crews, actually, but it could have been on Titus. I don't remember who. Where they pretty much did the zigzag and the Claymore kick at the same exact time, thus revealing that Drew and Dolph Ziggler are now a pair. Titus O'Neil is not suited to his gimmick, but I am changing that, so let's do that now. And he got a rating of awful. Ooh. I'm sorry, Titus. That sucks. D+ rating. This actually did not do that great at all, compared to what it really did. All right, so the big dog, Roman Reigns, getting hyped up once again for the last time of the night because he's next, you guys. C+ rating. Did we do it? No, we didn't. There we go. We then lead to a B- rating here as the big dog Roman Reigns comes down to the ring to cut a promo on Brock Lesnar, talking about his steel cage Universal Championship match at the Greatest Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar coming up, which I believe is actually this Sunday from what I'm recording. So April 23rd, so I believe that means it would be, I'm not going to pull up the damn thing. But, yeah. So either way, like I said, he's cutting his promo on Brock. That leads to Samoa Joe coming out, kind of similar to what they did last week. Joe and Roman go back and forth. Roman dares Joe to come into the ring. He teases that he's gonna, but then he doesn't, and there you have it. This angle got the crowd interested again, so there you have that, and it gained some heat to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. B- rating, good stuff. We then go to a solid C rating, hyping up the main event of the night between a 10-man tag team match between Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Miz, and the Miz Taraj taking on Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and the last superstar from the Shakeup. Solid C rating. Oh, wow. Ooh, buddy. We then lead to an E+ rating. Good God. And about that had little heat. Oh, Lord. I've never, ever in my entire Total Extreme Wrestling career seen a match described that way. And about that had little heat and embarrassing wrestling. Natalya defeats Mandy Rose in 4 minutes and a second with the sharpshooter. Unfortunately, Natalya and Mandy Rose just don't click, and that showed in their performance, so Hopefully WWE doesn't revisit this match at all because I'll have to do it. And it's not going to do them good. It did cool the crowd, and Mandy Rose had an A- in-ring performance, while Natalya had a D-. Good God, what a stinker. We then go up to a D+ rating here as Ronda Rousey comes out to save Natalya from absolution, because right after the match, while Natalya has the sharpshooter locked in on Mandy Rose still, Sonya Deville comes in and takes her down, which then leads to Ronda Rousey coming out. Mandy Rose and Sonya kind of back down, but then Mandy psychs up Sonya. She's like, yeah, I can do this, and she gets in the ring, pretty much challenges Ronda, and Ronda gives her like this hilarious look, honestly, where she looks at her like, "Are you fucking serious? Bitch, please!" And she puts Sonya Deville right in her place before Absolution kind of runs off with the tail between their legs as Ronda and Natalya stand tall. Natalya underperformed, but Ronda Rousey looked good here. And I believe this is just the face turn for Natalya, which we're not going to do just yet. They could, swerve us and have her be like Ronda Rousey's first opponent, so I don't want to pull the trigger just yet. We then lead to a hype video here for Baron Corbin, one of Raw's newest superstars heading over from SmackDown. This gets a C-, and apparently Baron Corbin's in for a big push, so we could be seeing a lot of him. We then lead to a solid D-rated matchup here, and about that had subpar wrestling to it and little heat. Breezango, Tyler Breeze and Fandango get the shock victory over the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, former tag team champions, in 3 minutes 54 seconds after Tyler Breeze defeats Cesaro with a quick roll-up pin. So while the Bar was pretty dominant in this match, in fact, I kept them strong to I don't know if they would have gotten mad, but I imagine they would have. But I kept them strong as well because, like I said, they were dominant. Breezango really got little to no offense in this match whatsoever against the Bar. But as it looked like the Bar was about to finish off Tyler Breeze, Fandango pulls Sheamus off before Cesaro can make the tag, which leads to a quick roll-up from Tyler Breeze to get the pin over the Bar. So Fandango with a in-ring performance of a D-, Tyler Breeze with a solid D, and Cesaro and Sheamus with a solid C performance on both of their parts. Sheamus is improving in performance, Cesaro improving in flying and performance, and Tyler Breeze improving in Rumble, technical, and performance. Fandango making no improvements tonight. We then lead to a D+ rated angle here as Renee Young gets an interview with Elias. Elias talks a little bit about Bobby Lashley and how disrespected he felt, and if Bobby Lashley ever interrupts him again, how he'll put him in his place. He then, he can, he's not going to perform for, wherever the hell we're at. We're in the XL Center, but I forget exactly. I think it was like maybe Nashville, but don't quote me on that. I forget exactly where this is. But he pretty much talks about how he's only going to perform in big crowds and not just for any other place. But he notices that Renee Young's a fan, so he's going to play her song, which leads to Renee pretty much cutting him off, saying, no, we don't have time for this. That also starts the Elias Lashley storyline, even though last week should have kind of been the start of it, but that was my bad. All right, solid C rating here as we get another hype up as the 10-man tag team match is coming up next, but we also hyped up the fact that Brock Lesnar will return to Monday Night Raw next week. So there you have that, solid C rating. And then we lead in, right? Do we? Yeah, we lead into our 10-man tag team matchup, our main event of the night, C+ rated match. Probably not the best match to end off with, but Bobby Roode is the final partner for the Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and Bobby Lashley team, making his way over from Friday nights, or excuse me, they're not Fridays anymore, Tuesday night SmackDown. So we have a decent matchup here with Rollins, Strowman, Balor, Lashley, Roode, and Owens, and Roode going over Owens, Sami Zayn, Miz, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel in 20 minutes, 3 seconds when Braun Strowman defeats The Miz with the reverse choke slam, even though it was a running power slam. We also saw Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel turn their back on The Miz, so there you have. One thing I would like to bring up, the match itself wasn't 20 minutes long. It was more around like 14 minutes long, but I added about 5 minutes onto that. 5 minutes onto that for like entrances and all that, because for some reason the 10-man tag only had 2 minutes plus entrances, and they went over the 2-minute mark. It was, an extra 3 minutes on there, you know. So I just added 5 minutes, or maybe it was just 3 minutes, and I'm thinking 5 minutes because it adds up. Either way, it eventually got bumped up to 20, so I had to do 5 minutes because 14 plus 5 would have been 19. So there you have it. C plus rating for the main event of the night. Miz is getting better at his gimmick. Bobby Lashley is getting better at his gimmick. Curtis Axel with an in-ring performance of a solid D. Bo Dallas with an in-ring performance of a D minus. The Miz with a C plus. Sami Zayn with a B minus, and Kevin Owens with a B minus. So they had the best of the match. Bobby Roode with a solid C. Bobby Lashley with a D plus. Finn Balor with a C plus. Braun Strowman with a B minus, so he's also tied with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And Seth Rollins with a C plus. Also, that Intercontinental Championship feud gained some heat as well. Miz is improving in Rumble, technical, and performance. Bobby Roode is improving in Rumble and performance. Kevin Owens is improving in technical. Seth Rollins is improving in technical. And Finn Balor is improving in performance. And we end off the show, and Monday Night Raw gets a C plus rating here. Apparently, we don't have enough interesting storylines still going on. Unfortunately, SmackDown and 205 storylines have not begun because I forgot to do them for last week, so that happens as well. And this show still lost us popularity in 23 regions, so I don't think the storylines would have helped, but it probably would have helped a little bit. It might not have helped a whole lot, but because with that being said, a C plus rating probably would not have been enough to get us popularity still. So it's been a rough start for WWE, to be honest. Definitely a better Monday Night Raw than last week's, but it'll be interesting to see how SmackDown does now with their new superstars, because they're, in my opinion, SmackDown kind of won the draft this time around. They got a lot more bang for their buck. I mean, they might not have gotten a lot of people compared to Monday Night Raw did, but they got people like Samoa Joe and Big Cass, who apparently they're looking to push really hard. And with the feud with Daniel Bryan, that could do some great things. And, you know, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Big Cass is going to, you know, be kind of like the Miz's bodyguard. Miz is returning to SmackDown. We're going to get that Daniel Bryan-Miz feud. And, of course, with Daniel Bryan now over on SmackDown, you got AJ Styles on SmackDown. Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown, which, you know, Nakamura and his heel turn is going great. There's a lot of great potential on SmackDown right now. Of course, with Jeff Hardy now over there, too. Randy Orton. Shelton Benjamin on his lonesome. Sanity just got called up. Andrade Almas is over there. SmackDown's got a lot of promise. Rusev Day is still going on. So it'll be interesting to see how SmackDown goes compared to Monday Night Raw. I feel like they won the draft, like I said. With that being said, though, I don't really have much to go on about here. I would like to check the storylines and all that beforehand, but I do not know how long this is going to take. This is, like I pointed out before, this isn't the best computer in the world. It's only a temporary replacement for now. Which sucks because that means I'm going to have to buy Total Extreme Wrestling again for, I believe, it would be like the 4th, maybe 5th time. I don't mind. It's a great game. With that being said, though, I am probably going to end off the video here because I will most likely be waiting forever for this to go off. And I'm not the best with editing. I don't have an editing software yet on this laptop anyway. So hopefully in the future I'll be doing some editing because I would like to have, you know, the entire week be one video instead of doing Raw, 205, and SmackDown. But these videos actually still go pretty long, so maybe I'll keep them separate. Either way, though, guys, I'm done rambling. My name's been OMG WTF LOL FTW BRB. If you have enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and don't forget to share this video with your friends, your Facebooks, your Twitters, and of course, as soon as I'm about to end off the video, it finishes. So I guess before we can end this off, let's go ahead and check some things here. U.S. Network is still not happy. Neither is Sky Sports. That's going to be a problem, I feel. If we lose the networks, then I don't know what I'm going to do then. I might have to, like, extend the contracts or something, or lower their approval. I don't know what, but if you guys have any ideas on how to get past the networks, let me know. And Seamus says, Sunil Singh has poor ring psychology. He's probably not worth keeping around. I'm not sure how you know Sunil Singh has poor in-ring psychology, since he literally just talked on the mic and didn't even fight, but Thanks for your input, Seamus. Thank you. Always, full of wisdom. Thank you for that. I clicked on the wrong thing. All right, we have a couple more AL issues. I'll fix that off screen. Not as many as I thought, though. I'm gonna do a quick auto push just for my sake. I don't, mostly because I win here. I was gonna do that off screen as well. And real quick, let's check our storylines. Of course, as we see here, we got Drew Gulak and Tony Nese, which I believe they're starting, and I also believe I spelled Nese wrong. No, I didn't actually. Interesting. It looks very wrong. Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander, which they started, it looks like, and then the Lucha House Party taking on Itami and Tozawa. So Elias and Lashley with a D. The IC title feud right now with a C+. Nia and Bliss with a D-. Roman and Brock with a C+. Ronda and Steph with a C. Bray Wyatt with the Woken feud with a C. Sasha and Bayley with a D-. So we need a storyline with a minimum of B heat, and we have none. So that's not just at fault of us. Oh, and the U.S. title feud, which also features Jinder, because I have a feeling he's going to be there, has a C-. So we'll see if these help at all, but I don't think so. I think we're still going to be dinged for that storyline. If any of you are curious about the Women's Championship, it did successfully change hands. There you see right there, Carmella is now the Women's Champion. And I don't know if it changed prestige. I didn't double check, but it might have. All right, like I said, with that being said, let's end this off now. My name is ZachManziNVO. I love TEW. If you like this video, please comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to share this video with your friends, your Facebooks, your Twitters, your Instagrams. I don't give a dams. Anybody you think who would enjoy my content, give them a share. Help the boy out. I'd appreciate it. Give me some love, and I'll love you back. With that also being said, I do have a Patreon page. I don't plug it very often. I probably should. If you guys would like to support the channel, help me get a new laptop, or a new desktop, actually, to where we can stream again, have some better content, and so on and so forth. That would be greatly appreciated, but as always, not required. And I think that's it. Check out my description below to check out, get my affiliates like Senor Conqueso, I mentioned earlier, Zach, we mentioned him many times on the channel, and many, many more. And that's going to do it for me. My name's been OMG, WTF, LOL, TWBRB for like the third, fourth time in this video because I just repeat myself too many times. I'll see you guys later.